we're at FrogKaffee today. We were here a few months ago to do our seminar, but today we are just sitting down and speaking with Markus, who is an Austrian who has moved permanently here to Davao City, and we will be getting some insights on his move, his experience, things like that.
Hello, Tim. Hi, Tim. Hi.
So, good. How do you say? Guten Tag. Good day. So, I'm here at the FrogKaffee Arena with Markus, the owner. So, we have actually been here before in our seminar a couple of months ago. Everybody loved it. We were supposed to do this interview then, but
Yep.
yeah, everybody was having fun. We decided let's do the interview some other time. So, yeah, Markus, thanks for having us back, I guess.
Thank you very much for having you here.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I guess the big question on everybody's mind is why Davao City and not Manila or Cebu, because in expat circles, it's always Boracay, BGC, or one of those places.
Correct, yes. Yeah, that's true. There are other spots here, very beautiful ones, what you mentioned, right? Boracay, Siargao, El Nido, and Cebu,
Yeah.
Bohol.
Yeah.
There are a lot of beautiful places in the Philippines, that's for sure. So the decision to come here to Davao was driven largely because of my relationship and now my wife, Gina. We met in Hong Kong. I've been working in Hong Kong for many years, for over 10 years, for a Switzerland international investment company. I've been in that environment for, 13 years. So we met in Hong Kong, and I was in my 25th year of corporate work, and I thought I can do something different rather than just flying around every week or more, and planned this kind of early retirement. Things probably a lot of people have in their mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was, I think, 50 at that time. And so I was struggling with the idea of, I will go away. I did my homework for many years. I think I deserve myself something, but not doing nothing wasn't really a thing. I wanted to continue doing something which I probably haven't really detected prior to it, which is coffee. I like that, and I thought, maybe we're gonna do this. There's a bit of story behind it. I won't probably go too much into that, but at the time when the decision, what exactly I'm gonna do after corporate, third wave was a big thing. Third wave in coffee, so maybe a couple of you listening to this know what that is, but it was something that is elevating coffee into a very high quality status and
Standard.
yeah, that's a movement coming from the US, Australia, to a part in Europe, not so much, but Asia started in Hong Kong and Singapore with that. And since I've been traveling a lot, and always when I had free time, I go to coffee shops looking at them, I see this movement.
Huh.
Also, when I was in the US, I see that the origin of that movement with Blue Bottle and Stumptown and others. So I was very curious about that, and it interested me, and I thought this is maybe something, it looks very deep, these things. At the same time, I had my relationship with Gina. At the same time, we were dating at that time, and then we got more serious about it. And this was about 2013, got more serious about it, and I traveled to the Philippines. That was my first time at that time.
Yeah.
Even if I had Asia Pacific as my round, but investment-wise, the Philippines at that time was not on the table. So I was going to the Philippines for first time together with Gina. She introduced me to Davao and the region because she comes from Governor Generoso, Davao Oriental, which is about 2 hours from here. Yeah, we did the travel and
You drive fast. 2 hours? You drive fast.
3
hours.
3 hours, okay. To be more accurate, 3 hours.
Yeah.
So I got familiar with the area and I traveled there more often. I came here more often because I bought a property on the beach side, about 3 hours from here. So when I go back to Hong Kong, I had always my head in the Philippines already to a degree, right? I always, I think that makes sense to be here, and I come to this a little bit later. So I come here more regular to Davao, and I already understood and already feel that city is pretty safe. At that time, Duterte was
The mayor.
still the mayor.
Yeah.
I heard a lot about him. I also met him, and I thought this all makes sense to me. It's good. I see Boracay. I see other places, which I'm not. I thought what I want to do actually then, third wave, and I thought Boracay is not the place. El Nido much not developed enough. So far away, you have brownouts all the time. And Siargao at that time wasn't actually really on the map.
Yeah.
It started.
It was nice back then.
It started. But
And-
for what I wanted to do, I needed a big city. I needed kind of more reliable infrastructure and all the kind of things. And therefore, I said to Gina, why don't we do it here? Because other places in the Philippines are not suitable enough yet. And other places like Hong Kong and Singapore are so saturated with that. And I've never done it before. So I want to limit my risk a little bit. And then she thought about that too. And I introduced her this concept. She picked it up very fast. And then we decided, okay, let's do our due diligence here. Let's make a professional due diligence.
Yeah.
Let's see what the coffee scene looks like. We then not only went to every coffee shop here and speak with everyone what's going on, but we also go to other places like Manila, Cebu at that time. It was still a possibility, but to be honest, Manila is too crowded for me.
Too busy.
Too busy. While it's thriving now, they have a good coffee scene, that's for sure. But I've been in many big cities, so I didn't want to be in big cities anymore. And Davao is also a big city, but it's flat.
Yes,
It's wide,
Yeah.
and you have much more green areas around you. Cebu, I must say, is a good one too. No discussion about it. But I don't want to have this typhoon fear every time, because it's another thing what I like here. You don't have that problem.
Yeah.
Every typhoon literally starts more north, and
We
there
get
are lots
rain.
of
We get
typhoons here.
rain.
We got rain, but we don't have that. So we stopped here and said, no, we are catching actually the second fly, and much closer to our beach place, which we wanted to develop. Good. So all these come together, and then we made our due diligence. We looked through the coffee scene here, and I then made my conclusion about it. The coffee scene is not good. At that time, 2015, it's really not
Yeah, we had.
developed. There are coffee shops, but they really do just what's necessary. And there's a hell of a lot of 3-in-1 around. And so I thought that's probably the place we can start. It was risky because this, what we do, was very sophisticated already. And how do people resonate with that? So we had definitely a lot of people saying this will not succeed. Definitely, we had a lot who come to us and say this will not succeed.
Well, there were
we said,
people.
that's what it is. But there were the majority and many other people who were very curious. I like this on the Filipinos. They're very curious. If there's something new coming, they go there, they look at
Yes, they will try anything at least once.
Yes, and that's exactly what happened. So
Yeah.
they come and see, and probably what they found is, oh, these guys are really serious what they do, and it makes sense. It looks good. it tastes good, it is something new, and that's why we then launched very successfully and developed also successfully, and everything else is now history, because now we are 10 years.
Yeah.
10 years in operation with 2 years COVID, very extraordinary.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember your first place. It was huge. It was amazing.
It was a big place. It was in an area which was actually, what do you call it?
Full of bars.
Was full of bars,
Yeah,
and it was
there-
closed,
yeah.
right, for reasons by Duterte. And it hung around for 4 or 5 years. It looked a little bit like Mad Max movie. Yeah. So
Hey, but that was a good place. I
Yeah,
mean,
so-
we went there so many times. It was either coffee or wine, because you were one of the few coffee places with wine back then.
yeah, so we had this big building, 450 square meter, which was by square meter the largest coffee shop in the Philippines. That was huge.
Ah, okay.
450 square meter. Yeah, it was huge.
I was thinking it was
I never
huge.
intended, was never intended to be so huge. It just happened. And when we renovated it, it comes like this, comes like that. We also embedded our roaster, coffee roaster, in this shop, which was a very instrumental part. And we added then a menu. A lot come from Austria, because I'm an Austrian. Apfelstrudel, Sachertorte, Gulasch,
Wiener Schnitzels.
Wiener Schnitzel actually did just for ourselves. This been all run by Gina, my wife. So I'm not a chef, she's not a chef, so she picks up things like this. I remember we calling my mother, how do we do the Wiener Schnitzel? How do we do the goulash? Yeah, you can YouTube it, but I still wanted it. How do we do this? I have a very good soccer friend in Austria. I spent so many years with him. He's a conditor, he's a specialist in pastries. Tell me please, how is the Sachertorte? How do we do this? How we do that? So we picked this all together, and I think we made a menu which was also new, interesting for people. Mexican food, Italian food, so huge. When I recall, sometimes I think, how the hell could Gina do that? I'm the taster, right? I taste the goulash, I taste this, it's really authentic, yeah. But making it and then
Every single
telling
day.
people to do it, it's a different story.
Yeah.
So, of course, Gina was very super instrumental, and she's the co-founder of FrogKaffee, and we built this up with our own hand and ideas and blood. I can really tell that. So yeah, that's a little bit the beginning story, and then from then on, we knew we are on the right track. It was just about executing it on a very daily basis, on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
And that's where I have to, probably we can discuss about this. If someone plans to do a business here, a small one,
Yeah.
which is just giving him satisfaction, which was a goal for ourselves, you can't hang on the beach forever. You do it for a while, and this is all okay.
Yeah.
So I need one, but at some point, it's probably not satisfying everyone, right? Stimulating you, everyone. So something having on the side, I think, is very rewarding, and don't need to do it too big. Maybe we did quite a big thing, but so that is then the next chapter of how do you transition from something you put in place and it's been accepted and successful into something that's sustainable and long term. That is a different story, and there we have a lot of encounters.
I think we need like a few hours to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, the beginning story is just amazing. This is something, I guess, which a lot of people don't think about when they think about, after their main jobs are done. A lot of them, I mean, I can share you an anecdote. During our seminar a few months ago, some of them, when they first got to Davao, they were like, I think I'd rather stay at the beach or do things like that. And then, when as time goes on, they would realize, yeah, staying at the beach is fun, but you can't really do that forever afterwards. You're gonna run out of cash, you're gonna burn up or whatever happens. And then I told him, one of the reasons why a lot of expats love Davao is because if you like the beach, if you like the mountain, you can go an hour in either direction, and you can go mountain climbing, you can go to the beach, you can do
Correct,
anything. And plus, we, as you said earlier, we have all of the creature comforts. We are a big city. We don't have blackouts. We have gigantic malls. If you can't find it there, you can always buy anything online. But yeah.
That's right. Right. A big city for me is still kind of a big city which is not a skyscraper city.
Yes.
Where you still can go and find green areas. And I think Davao offers that. And then you just pack your car and go somewhere. Or
Yeah, it's not a
you
concrete
are
jungle.
quickly in the mountains.
Yeah, you can go anywhere.
You're quickly on beaches. So, yeah, that's Davao for that reason is a good place.
Yeah. So what would you say if, let's say, somebody, retires here and then wants to open up their own little bed and breakfast? That's like very feasible. Yeah. And if they want to, offer great coffee, do you offer training courses or equipment or tell us what?
Okay, so evolutionary, we go from a very focused retail coffee shop with offering food, of course specialized in coffee, but additionally also wine, craft beer. We transitioned from a pure retail into primarily after COVID, into, okay, we said, I think we have gained a lot of experience now. How to do it, how we made mistakes a lot. We make good things a lot. I think we have a basket of experience gathered 5 years now, almost 5 years. And after COVID, when everything came to a standstill, Gina was here and she did, we always call it underground roasting in our private house. I've been locked down in El Nido. I really couldn't go back to Davao for almost 2 years. That's a separate, complete, crazy story. But there was a coffee scene coming here in Davao coming up that replaced the traditional one because you couldn't really go into coffee shops anymore.
Yeah.
So the pop-ups, right? So they needed coffee, they needed roasted coffee. So we were one of the few roasters here. So Gina took that over, and with this orange one on the backside here, we basically kept coffee supply in many parts here in Davao alive with coffee. And Gina was doing this in our house. We had a guy who constructed the environment, and she was endlessly roasting. At the beginning, I teach her a little bit through videos, but she did it then herself. That triggered a little bit thinking in us going forward that, we have this basket of experience. Why don't we change a little bit our approach and go back to B2B, meaning after COVID then, when everything started to come back again, we can now consult coffee shops, someone who has no idea about it but wants to do it, so we can consult him from anything A to Z. We can consult him about design, we can consult him about how to structure his thing logically, we can supply him anything. In the meanwhile, we teamed up with Concept Specialist, which is a main distributor of very high-end machines, Sanremo, in the Philippines and other things, so that we can supply them with the machine as well as with the technical support, because that's important. What if your machine has something? So you need to have someone on the ground who come the next day and can repair it. So we can supply that. We can supply all the other ingredients you need, like syrups, like anything. And of course, we can supply you with coffee. We have, through the 5 years, created connections to farmers, created a lot of, on the background, networks which you need to have in order to get coffees, not only from local, also international and so forth. We can provide you anything. Why don't we leverage on that experience? That was we were thinking about, and how are we going to do that? So a very good friend of us, who was the landlord of us, Cynthia, she came across, because we were talking about a warehouse. I thought we need something bigger, because doing this is, you can't really roast and other things we do like training, like barista training, we need a bigger space. And I was in a discussion with her talking about a warehouse. And she said, hey, Markus, Gina, I have a warehouse. I said, really? So she brings us to this place here and said, this is a warehouse I have. And you can have it. Markus, Gina, do whatever you want. She knows us for so many years.
Yeah.
And she said, Markus, you can do what you want. So I thought this was the trigger that we said, wow, that's nice. So we completely reconfigured that, build it out to the way how it is now. Roasting on this backside with storage. Then inside we have
The classroom?
Previously we had the classroom. Now we call it the coffee daily. We have coffee exposed, which you can buy, which is ready done. We are packaging things there. And then we have the whole section out there, which is basically a setup for a coffee shop. Just give them an idea. Plus, when we train people, we want them to have a real life, or realistic to a life experience when they are here then. It's not just on the table you learn it, but here you can really learn it. Plus, when they finished courses with us, they are part of the Frog family.
Yeah.
And they can come here and use our machines and train or do any other things they would like. So we thought this concept is just a step up. It takes us a little bit away from retail, which is hard. I must say, hard to consistently have good people and do this. It's hard. So we go a little bit away from that. And secondly, what is still a point, an important one, we are no competitor to coffee shops. We don't run our own coffee shop and then want to offer you now I mean, it's a bit awkward, right?
Yeah, it
you
is.
run coffee shops and then you get a client who wants to have a good coffee shop and
And you're the source?
it's a bit of a conflict of interest, right? So our concept is now
B2B.
coffee roasting, supplying, sourcing coffee, supplying any future coffee shop with anything they need.
Actually, that's
4 years now.
Yeah, that's the same thing with our company. So everybody has their idea of their own plan Bs outside of Europe, and then what we actually do is we give them the advice. We show them what is actually happening. So people get a soft landing. It's not like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? So
So that's why we think what you do as well. Give them not biased but objective view of what's going on, what happened to yourself, just to make them aware of things maybe they don't know.
20 years ago, would you have thought that you would be living in a tropical country, roasting coffee, or going to the mountains,
absolutely.
planting beans? No,
I would not have thought about that. Definitely not. That's why we have expect the unexpected.
Expect the unexpected. Yeah.
It's not only when people come in here, sometimes they have seen things they thought. It's also applicable to its own life. And I think the same is valid for Tina. Maybe Tina, it's time for you to sit down. If you ask her the question 20 years ago, you will end up.
20 years ago, would you have thought that you would be in the mountains helping people plant coffee or roast coffee on million-peso machines, or would you have thought about that 20 years ago?
Not at all. Never thought of this will happen, because even 15 years ago, it was already 13 years we are together. So at the beginning, I'm not a coffee drinker. So I'm not into coffee, I'm into tea. It's just Markus lured me into coffee.
You're into coffee.
He is the one who bring me into coffee and makes me never expect to become an expert like this now. So I dive into deeper because he put me into there and just keep diving deep, and then I have this expertise that I never imagined that I can be like this as a dual Q grader. I can grade Robusta and Arabica, can teach farmers, can teach baristas, and that's because he started to bring me in there. Because as a Filipina, it's just support.
I throw her into the cold water and told her swim now. No.
Because now it looks like your plan B is already your plan A again. So you have to look for another plan B. Or this is it.
Yes.
So I just
You're
want
right.
to touch
You
his
never think
coffee.
about plans, right?
Yeah, you never think about plans.
Yeah,
but,
that's true.
But this is something that you never thought of, and now it's amazing. You've built something really good. I mean, I wish.
I think what we
Yes.
try to balance is for people who come here, right? Foreigners, German, Swiss,
Yeah. Austrian.
Austrian is
Yeah.
your target, right?
Yeah.
Many of them are in a stage where they can decide a little bit what they do and where they go and what they do. And same for us. I didn't want to be engaged 16 hours in brutal corporate work anymore. I did it long enough,
yeah.
and I gained a lot through that. But at some point, and I think there will be a lot of similar situations like me. So how you kind of balance your next step, that you are not doing too much, not too little, but still that you have to put something in it to make it
Make it work.
right? Now I must say Gina is doing more than me. Yeah,
That's the dream.
At the beginning we were very same. She is now really having the daily operation, and so she does work a lot. Not that I'm relaxed more, but maybe she developed so much that it really gives me more breathing time, honestly. But that's a bit of a jiggling work. As someone who comes in, and how much do you really invest time into something new again? You really have to, if you want to do something. Even if you just open something small, you don't want to lose it.
Yeah.
Even if it costs you maybe $100,000 to set it up, everything, you don't want to lose that.
Yeah.
So you still have to do something. You still have to come. So now after, 10 years here, Davao also developed. If you look at coffee shops now,
Yeah,
they are
yeah.
coming out now. So
Well, a lot of
let's
coffee
talk about Evermore. Let's talk about all the at curbside. Let's talk about Habitat. Let's talk about Pursuit of Coffee. They are good coffee shops. They can compete worldwide now
Yeah.
with what they do. So if you want to go into this area, you can't just buy a chair and a table and a good coffee and that's it. No, that time is
That was a
maybe
few
it
years
was
ago.
20 years ago. So you do have to really plan a little bit. So I would say maybe 80% of your time you think you want it for, no, you really have to until it runs. So it's not, you come in here and because everything is, it's actually also not true that everything is cheaper. It's just a bit different,
Yeah,
right?
it is. Yeah.
So you need to know. And then you still have to put it, but is it worth it? Yes, I think it's worth it because we come always back to the same thing. You don't want to go to the beach every day for the rest of your life. I do know that if a foreigner comes in and has a good idea, it's very resonated. Look at Swiss Daily, look at Markus, who came in, I think, 25 years ago. He was a butcher, a Metzger in Switzerland, and what he built up,
Yeah,
I mean, that's mind-boggling. And he has a big resort in Summer Island now. He had this, and he could do that. So if anyone has something special, bread making, any other good things,
beer. We need good beer here.
beer,
Good brewery.
there are, and then you can still keep it. You need to make it big, small, and so on. You can make money with that. But you definitely have to invest time, and you have to have, you have to have
Help.
some help.
Yeah.
Or, in my case, I would have never been able to do that anyway without Gina. No, that's no doubt about that. For many reasons, you need someone local, surely, as a partner, and then you have to think about your partnership, right? And that's like anywhere in the world. If you have a partner, it becomes complicated, right? Not only in private, but in business in particular. But you need someone to cross over all the administrative stuff, all the other things when you run into problems, when you have problems with this.
Yeah, and who knows
you
the
need
local
that.
culture
So
and everything.
doing
how
it by
things work.
yourself, I find it's very, I don't think it's impossible.
It's just very hard.
I think it's just very hard. Everywhere in the world, in the hospitality business, it's not about that the first day you open, you have 100
Oh,
people.
yeah.
So it is how you get that person who drink with you
To come
coming
back. Yes.
and back and back and back. And always that person goes out with a good feeling. Worthwhile that they spend 200, 300, 400, 800 peso for that. of course, that's not only here.
Back then, we get a cafe latte at your place. It was like 130 pesos, and there was this kasagingan outside.
Yeah.
They had 35 peso cafe lattes. So but still, there were more people at his place. So
Yeah.
One more question: Why Frog? The name.
So we both walking in Hong Kong on the ocean. I forgot where it was.
Happy Valley.
Happy Valley, yeah.
Happy
We were
Valley,
walking and
okay.
see a artist shop with a lot of pictures, paintings and stuff. And one of them were a lot of frogs, which were looking very funny, very nice. We said, that's nice, looks cool. We were actually at that time thinking about how do we brand it, this thing. And then we said, yeah, what a frog alone is weird, right? Frog, call it frog. And then so stuff. So we were thinking, what can we do with frog that fits into our concept? And then we were frog, F-R-O-G, cafe, right? And we were, I still remember we go home and mix these words around, and then we come up, the best fit to our concept that we can still use this is fresh roast of great coffee. We were roasting coffee. That was very unusual. Only Yardstick in Manila did that. And thanks to Yardstick, they were very big mentors of our business. They were the only third wave at that time as well. So thanks, Kevin, if you're listening or hearing that. Roasting, freshness was our prime, and is still. And that's, we can advise anyone who does a coffee this, please use fresh roasted coffee.
Yes.
And good coffee. And great coffee means
Like great coffee is not just happen.
It doesn't.
that's one. And great coffee
Just
also
happen.
means you need to source good coffee, because if you get coffee which is not good from the origin, you can do whatever you want. You can have the most expensive machines which you
Yeah.
want. You will not just change it. If you have a Ferrari with the tires of a transformer, you can do what you want. You definitely will not win the Formula
Yeah.
One, right? So that's to start with. You need great cafe or great green beans to start with. So that's why we come up with FrogKaffee and cafe. Cafe, everyone who listens to this, German speaking, they know what that means.
Ah.
It's a German word for coffee. So that's really, but we got a lot of questions. Even staff asked that.
Yeah.
Why frog?
Why
And
frog?
then the logo is a red frog sitting on a coffee bean couch. So that is our logo before. Frog is a lucky.
Yeah.
in
Like a
way.
mascot. You should put it there somewhere.
Yeah, we'll do this again.
We have still a lot of frog painting in the guitar and something,
Yeah.
right, that we haven't even read.
Yeah. So, anyways, we have taken so much of your time. Thank you so much for answering our
Thanks for
questions.
sharing. I hope it helps
Yeah.
anyone who listens, and anyone coming here. Good luck with everything. It's a great place.
Yeah. Can you share some, final words of advice to anybody who wants to make the Philippines or Davao City their plan B in the future?
Any advice? It's hot here. I love it. I really like it. Sometimes it gets too hot, but I really like it. Language is definitely a very important point. Everyone speaks English here. It's very easy to transition here. And the culture, the many of these things are similar. Our eating habits, it's very similar. So I think the integration here goes very quick. And I see this when I go to Thailand, Vietnam or so. It always feels, to me at least, you're still completely separated. Politically and all the other kind of things, you have to make up your own mind, because where is it safe in this world currently? I don't know. Actually, it's pretty safe now here.
Yeah. Is it clean? Is the city clean?
Yes, it is fairly clean. Fairly clean, yes, to a large degree. Also, the awareness of it
Yeah.
is growing amongst people, that you have to clean up. I remember in 2015 there were much more squatter areas along the street and stuff like this. That's really kind of disappearing more and more. There are nice compounds coming out in the city, so it's definitely changing, for sure. Oh yeah, and at last, if you think about if you cross the middle line when you drive your car and you cross the middle line, don't be scared. In Europe, you are almost in the prison if you do that. If you cross the middle line with only one tire, a centimeter in Switzerland, Germany, or Austria, you're already losing your driver license maybe. Here it's still a bit open. You still can make a U-turn if it's necessary because you don't know where to go. So yeah, some things are quite cool here. Okay?
Good. Thank you.
Bist du Unternehmer, Freiberufler oder Investor? Zieht es dich schon lange ins Ausland? Mach heute den ersten konkreten Schritt in eine Zukunft mit mehr Geld und mehr Freiheit. Buche ein Beratungsgespräch mit Sebastian und seinen Kollegen. Unsere Kanzlei unterstützt Mandanten wie dich dabei, deine Steuerlast legal zu reduzieren, Vermögen aufzubauen und zu schützen und deine persönliche Freiheit zu maximieren. Profitiere jetzt von unserem Fachwissen und unserem Netzwerk. Gehe zu mandatierung.com und werde Mandant unserer Kanzlei.